Greetings, United Methodist friends and family from around the world. I'm JJ Warren, and I'm so excited to share this moment with you. This summer, as you may have noticed, I spent the time traveling to over 32 different communities in 10 different states around the United States. I've also been in communication with United Methodists from Germany, from the Philippines, from different countries in Africa, from Norway, from Methodists all around the world who are saying, what should we do in such a time as this? Several conversations are happening now. Conversations held by UMC Next, which is a group of centrists and progressives. Conversations held by LGBTQ leaders, such as the Social Justice Roundtable that just took place this week in Chicago. And there are other conversations happening. Conversations with the Wesleyan Covenant Association, discussing how we should take apart our church. All of these conversations are happening at the top, and it can feel isolating for the communities that are living as United Methodists around the world. I have been so filled with joy, though, this summer to see and experience United Methodists building inclusive spaces, being the kingdom that God has called us to be, being heaven on earth. And that's the church that I long for, and that's the church that I experience. So many of us are afraid of the future. But I think what we're doing right now in the present is a light for what can continue to happen. To say no longer will we sit on the fence around the world. No longer will we allow injustice to dictate what we do in our churches. We're saying, like never before, this is a time for justice, and it's a time for justice together, to move forward together, to bind ourselves in love and say, let's go toward the promised land of inclusion for all together. This summer, as I visited churches around the world, and specifically here in the US, there was this great desire to be in connection with each other. Churches that I've been talking to in California wanted to know how they could be part of bringing people along the journey of understanding. Churches in areas like rural Mississippi or in Kenya. Churches that maybe aren't there yet, but who would be willing to go on the journey of understanding. Now, if you know anyone in the LGBTQ+ community, or you are LGBT like me, you know that it's a process. My parents didn't understand overnight. It took us a long time and a lot of studying and a lot of conversations so that one day they would be able to accept me and love me as I am and affirm who I am as a child of God and a queer child of God. My hope is that we will bring others on this journey with us, that we will continue the community-changing and life-altering work that we've been called to do, because the world is our parish as United Methodists, and together around the world, we're building the church that God has called us to be for so long. So my hope is that you would continue to engage in our connection of inclusive churches and in the partnership program that Reconciling Ministries Network and I are unveiling soon. A way for churches that are in areas that aren't quite there yet to partner with churches in areas that are more inclusive and to work together to transform your communities together. We are the church. And together we are creating a church that people in my generation want to be a part of. And I greet you here today from Boston University School of Theology, where many of my peers are United Methodists in their 20s who feel called to ministry in this church for this time. The future of the church is not over, and God is still calling passionate young people to ministry. Be the church that we so long to be part of, and together let us move forward into that promised land of inclusion. God is not done, and we're not done either. I look forward to seeing you throughout this journey together. Amen.